Hello. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to do a project. We're just going to do, it's actually a set, but we're only going to do one. I'm trying to cut my lives down by at least half because, like I said, they've been getting a little lengthy, and I know that it was easy to lose interest when it's so long, so I figure I would do shorter ones and make more videos, if that makes sense. So I'm going to give people time to come on. I should have posted that I was going to do a live. My lips are chapped. So, as you're hopping on, say hi. So, I got my room a bit more organized and straightened up, and I feel so much better. I feel like I can find things now. So, but we're going to go ahead and get started. What we're going to be doing is I have two of these frames, and there's this color. I'm really not sure. It looks kind of like it's a peachy mustardy color, and then we have a green. But they have easels, or you can hang them, either or. But I got these at Hobby Lobby, and I got them probably on clearance. They originally came with these little binder clips, and they had binder clips on here where you could like hang a picture. So I went ahead and took those off, and I can use those for something else later. And we're going to use our, what is this? Our Proverbs stencil. It comes with, it's an 11 by 11 sheet. It comes with 4 stencils, and it's $14.99. I can show you what all comes in here. It comes with, she is far more precious than, I cannot speak tonight, far more precious than jewels, Proverbs 31:10, and she is clothed with strength and dignity, Proverbs 31:25. That's what those look like. But I think that I'm going to be using, the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. This one, and then her children rise up and call her blessed. So I'm going to be putting these on here. They already had this burlap area on them. I decided, since it had the burlap, it would probably be best to ink versus chalk. I have no idea how it's going to come out. I did, where they have the holes here, I did pre-make bows in this little like black plaid, and then once it's done, we'll just put bows up here. I wish I had more like either burlap that was thin, but I don't, so we're just going to go with this. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to move one to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and move you down a little bit. Whoops, sorry, that was a little jumpy. And I've used the kindness stencil, but I've not used this blessed. So I'm going to go ahead and write on the back, to indicate which side is the back, so that when I go to return my stencil after I cleaned it, I'll know what side to put the stencil on. It's important to mark the back of your stencil, because if you put it on the wrong side, it can cause your stencil to stick to the backing permanently. So I go ahead and write on the back before I even remove my stencil. Our stencils are silk screen. The green area is vinyl, and everywhere that you see the clear, that is the silk screen area. Most stencils that you get, as you know, they have where the silk screen area is, typically come with that area cut out, and you have to use a sponge and sponge your paint on there. Well, these, with the silk screen, it just makes for a crisper image. And because our silk screens are adhesive, they're reusable up to 8 to 10 times. The first time you use them, you want to fuzz your stencil. And all that's doing is just basically adding a little fuzz so that the stencil is not as sticky whenever you go to remove it from your surface. That way, if you've painted your surface, you don't want your stencil to pull up any of the paint or the chalk that you've previously put down. So I'm just going to line this up. And like I said, I am going to use our ink. You have your choice of ink or chalk paste. They both come in 3-ounce jars. The chalk paste is $10.99 and the ink is $13.99. The ink you can use on cloth, on glass, on you could probably use it on the canvases that I do, and it has to be heat set in order for it to be permanent. What I'm doing, I have my stencil laid down as I'm going through, and I'm just making sure I don't have any air bubbles. This is not going to be like a flat, smooth surface because it is burlap, and so we may get, it may, with the burlap, it may like bleed. I'm really not sure what kind of effect the ink is going to have on the burlap. So I'm going to give it a stir. The ink, when you think of ink, you usually think of that it's going to be more runny like ink in an ink pen. This is not. It's fairly, see, it's thick. But it has to be this way so that you can spread it and it can go through your silk screen area. If it was too thin, then it would bleed for sure. I had a squeegee out here. Okay, this is one of our squeegees, our small squeegees. And you're just going to take your squeegee and you're going to dip it in your ink. Now, the difference between using chalk paste and using ink, when you use ink, you want to be sure that whatever direction you start, that's the direction that you continue, as long as you're using the stencil. So I'm just going to go from left to right, and I'm just going to glide my squeegee and spread my ink across the stencil until I get all of the silk screen area. And I'm not pushing hard. It doesn't take any force whatsoever. As a matter of fact, if you use a lot of force, when you're using this, if the squeegee has any give in it at all when you're going across, then you're pushing way too hard. And what that can do is that can cause your compound to go underneath your stencil, and it won't give you a crisp image. So I'm just making sure that I got the whole area, taking off any excess that I have. That way I'm not wasting anything. And then we are going to remove this and see how the ink did on our burlap area. Okay, I'm going to remove my stencil. I have a pan of water over here for it can soak a minute. I'm going to get me a baby wipe. You want to have lots of baby wipes on hand. That way that I don't get any ink that I have on my hands on my surface. And this is how it turned out. I think it did really well on the burlap. So now with the burlap, with the ink, like I said, it has to be heat set. And there's a few ways to accomplish that depending on what surface you're using. If you're doing cloth, t-shirts, tea towels, any kind of thing like that, even this burlap, you would use a heat press or an iron to set it. If you use a heat press, it only takes 30 seconds. If you use your iron for your that you iron your clothes with, it takes about 4 minutes on cotton to heat set it. So I'm going to let it sit for a minute. I think I'll actually let it sit while we do the next one. That way it can kind of be drying a little bit. So now we're going to move on to the next one, and we're going to use the Teaching of Kindness is on Her Tongue. So I've used this in the past, so I already had it marked. I'm going to give it a couple of swipes on my tacky towel to fuzz my stencil. And I'm going to place my stencil on here. Making sure that I don't have any air bubbles. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same step as I did before. I'm going to go in and I'm going to pick up some ink. And I'm just going to apply that to my stencil. To be sure that I get all of the silk screen area. That's my heat press telling me you need to use me or I'm going to turn myself off. That was a text message from my supervisor. I would like to ask if y'all would. I have a coworker who is very sick. She, goodness, she's in the hospital. She originally went in the hospital because she had COVID. And then we found out this week that she had pneumonia on top of that. Well, we got news today that last night or this morning, I think it was last night, she had a heart attack. So, I would just ask that y'all please keep her, and then I have 2 other coworkers who are going through some illnesses that are in my direct group on my team. So I would just ask that you keep my coworkers in your prayers, please. my group could really use all the prayers that we can get right now. So I'm going to remove all the excess ink because I don't want to waste it. Got some on my hand, so I'm going to wipe that off. The difference between the ink and the chalk paste, the chalk paste is non-toxic. It's water soluble. So if you get it on your clothes, it's going to wash out. The ink, if you get the ink on your clothes, well, it's going to be there because it does not wash out. So I say that you just be careful when you're doing using your ink. My squeegee off real fast. They're so much easier to clean before this ink dries. It does peel right off. It's very odd. It's almost like when it's on this squeegee and it's dried, it's almost like rubber. Okay. Alrighty. Put the lid on this. Turn my heat press back on. Another thing that you want, that you will need when you are going to heat set using a heat press or an iron, you're going to need parchment paper. And you're going to put the parchment paper down between your article and your heat press. And that's just to protect your heat press so that it does not get any of the wet ink on your surface or on the surface of your heat press. So I tore a piece off. I'm just going to lay it down. Typically, if you're going to do a shirt or when I do the cup towels, I'll let them dry for 24 hours before I heat set them. But I'm going to go ahead and just heat set this. It's set at the temperature's at 300, and I will just heat set it for 30 seconds, and then we will take a look at it and see what it looks like to make sure that it looks like we got a good seal on it. You don't think 30 seconds is a long time until you're waiting for your heat press to I think I'm going to do it one more time just for good measure. So I hope everyone is staying warm because it is a very cold night and it's only going to get colder as the days go on. I think the temperature is going to drop continuously, and I think Monday morning or Tuesday morning it's going to be in the single digits, which is crazy for us here in Texas because we do not get weather like this. So, okay. See, it doesn't look any different once it's heat set. That's just making it permanent. So I'm going to do the same thing to this one. Going to do it for 30 seconds. We're just going to do this one for a minute. Once this 30 seconds goes away, I'll just do it again. I don't know if any of y'all caught my live earlier. We had an open box reveal, and I got some cute new stencils in. I've been waiting on this. It said it had shipped back on January the 20th, and I actually just got it today. So I had not did another order because I wanted this one to come in before I sent off another order. So if y'all get a chance, go watch the open box reveal that I did earlier to see the cute stencils that we got in. And let me know if there's something that you want to see, because I am going to do another live or two tomorrow. I'm going to start just doing one project at a time. That way I don't have hour-long lives, because I know that's hard for some people to be able to watch for a whole hour. Okay, so this is what we have, but we're not done because they still look a little plain. So earlier, I made up these little black and white check bows, and I'm just going to hot glue those on there where I took those binder clips off. That way, it kind of hides that. I can get it on there. I got these fingers, and I pulled one out. I've already lost it. So, because you know I have the worst luck about burning myself. I have CJ in here. He wanted to come in here with me. He feels a little left out if I don't let him in. So, and you can see just how easy this was, and these would make great gifts. So, or, you know, you can have them from yourself. They'd be cute just to sit around like on your desk at work or on your end tables or nightstand. Let me move this gun. But here's what our finished frames look like. Didn't they turn out so cute? And like I said, these were just frames that I got from Hobby Lobby. I got them at, let's see if this tells me what season these were. No, I'm not sure what season it was. Oh, fall. So I got them, and I feel I either got them 50% off or off clearance. They came with these little binder clips screwed to them that you could put like a picture or whatever. And I took those off and replaced them with these bows. So that's cute. I wish I had different ribbon that really matched more of the burlap, but this is what we've done using our Proverbs stencils. So I thank y'all for joining me. You can find these stencils, all of the ink, the chalk paste on my website at Laura Gowen. What is my website? lauragowen.magnoliadesignco.com. I do not know why I went blank. So, be sure and check it out. Go on there and see if there's anything that you like. I may have a stencil for it already, and I can work you up a a canvas, or we can find another surface that you would like to put it on. If you would like to become a creator with Magnolia Design Company and be able to get a 35% discount off of all the back office products, then join my team. I encourage you to do that. It's a lot of fun. I found it's a great way it's been, very helpful during this COVID business for my mental and for my pocketbook, because I needed a part-time job. And let's face it, who wants to have to get a part-time job when you work 8 hours at one job and you still have, a kid? Although he's 18, he's not really a kid anymore. He could be on his own, but he's still in school. So this has just been an awesome opportunity for me, and I'm so glad that I took the leap of faith. And if you would like to take that leap with me, just send me a message and I'll be glad to explain it and talk to you more about it. That's all I have for now. I'm going to get my stencils over here cleaned up. I may get another project together, and I may come back in a few minutes and do another live. But again, it'll just be one project, one surface, and that way they're easier for you guys to go back and watch, and I can share them on my YouTube channel. Be sure, if you have friends that you think that would enjoy what I'm doing here, invite them to my page. I encourage that. I need to think of something this weekend to do for a giveaway. We've not done one of those in a while, so we need to do that. So be thinking and let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything that you would like to see. But until next time, y'all have a good night. Bye, guys.